My e-commerce store has generated over £1.3 million and my input is less than 1 hour per day to maintain that store. But it wasn't always like this. I used to be the bottleneck, and for so long the business couldn't grow beyond me because I was doing everything and I wasn't able to train a team or put systems in place to make sure it ran without me. Until I learned a system, and that system I'm going to give away for free to you today. But why should you listen to me? Well, I've built multiple e-commerce stores, I've spent years training other e-commerce business owners as well as scaling my own stores, and now I'm giving you all this for free on my YouTube channel. So let's dive in. So the first thing I've got to say is that we need to clear up a myth in the world of hiring when it comes to hiring virtual assistants and getting people to outsource your e-commerce business. The first thing that people think is that hiring is more difficult and more important than onboarding. So you'd think that because I need to make sure I find the right person. So therefore, the hiring process is going to be way more important to make sure I've got the right person. Well, in fact, this is switched. The onboarding process I've found to be more important than even the hiring. And the reason I say that is because if you've hired the perfect person, they could be an absolute 10 out of 10 rockstar virtual assistant that's ready to do all of the store management for you. If you don't give them the right systems, if you don't onboard them to a way that they're bought into your business, they won't know what they're doing, and all of their talent, all of the right attitude will be wasted. And so if we don't have a plan for onboarding, I tell you what happens, because I used to have this. What used to happen was I would bring in my VA, I'd spend the time working hard and my VA on board, and then once you've hired, you've been through the hiring process, you've spent time, you've interviewed, you've got the right people on board. Once you bring them on board, the first thing you do is you just tell them, these are your responsibilities. This is the previous way of doing it. And I'd say, these are what I expect from you. So customer service and order fulfillment, let's say. Maybe they do product uploading as well. And they do some admin tasks like saving folders, etc. Those kind of things going on. But let's say these are the first two things. And what you think you might be able to do is say, I want you to answer the live chat, I want you to answer the phone line, I want you to answer the emails. And you think, brilliant. Once I've got that, I'm going to have a happy virtual assistant and I'm going to be able to do everything. Now, unfortunately, giving requirements is not enough. That is not enough. Because what happens in reality is they go out there, they try and do your customer service, they try and do your order fulfillment, but they will do this in the way that they've been taught in the past. And then there's going to be some differences and discrepancies in the way that they want to do it and the way that you were expecting them to do it. So it's the way that they approach and what you want doing, how you want it being done. Okay, how you like it. And the bigger the gap between their approach and how you like it done is going to be, this is the amount of discontent. So sometimes you'll get somebody on board that maybe they're a bit closer to how you like it. Sometimes you'll get it further away because they've worked for a completely different company in the past. And ultimately, how far away their approach is to how you want it is how unhappy you'll be as the business owner, and therefore how quickly you'll let that VA go. Therefore, the role of an onboarding system is to limit this gap to as small a gap as possible. So I'll show you what I mean by that. I'll show you the way to do this right. And then I'll go ahead and share with you the onboarding doc later in this video that I use so you can tailor it and go ahead and use it for your hires in your business. But ultimately, when you do onboarding correctly, so we hire, we give them onboarding properly. So I'll go through the doc that I give to new virtual assistants now. When we do that, we lay out our expectations are very clear in the onboarding doc, and followed by our expectations is our methods. So we're not just telling them what we expect them to do, we're telling them exactly how we expect them to do it. And when you do that, what's going to happen is ultimately they align with our expectations, they align with our methods, so their approach is exactly the same as our expectations. And as I said before, when their approach is the exact same as your expectations, and there's no gap between the two, that's when you don't have issues, that's when we don't have to get upset with the VA, and that's when you have your store looked after you. But it's not up to them. Their expectations, we can't judge how they come into the store. They've had previous experience, they've got an idea in their mind of how they do things. It's up to us to make sure that we lay out our expectations, we lay out our methods, so that gap between what they think they should do and what we think they should do is exactly the same. So now let me share with you the doc that I show my new VAs. You can use it for yourself so you know exactly how to bring on a fantastic virtual assistant so you can scale your business and work less at the same time. So here is my onboarding document template. If you want me to send this to you, just send me a message on Instagram and I'll get this across to you so you can use it when you're hiring virtual assistants to outsource your customer service or anything in your e-commerce business, because it can be applied to anything. But let me walk you through it. And this is a template that I've been using with my clients. I've been hiring VAs for people. I've been putting systems in place to make sure that their business runs like clockwork. And as you can see, we're going to send this on the very first day that Virtual Assistant starts. So it welcomes them in. It gives them your name and image so they know who you are and they recognize you if you're on a call with them, because you may not have been involved in the hiring process if you've done that. If I've done that for you, photo of me because I'll be in touch with them as the systems consultant for the business. And then we lay out the KPIs. So this is the expectations part. And this is the part you may have thought about, but this is the part we need to do first, and then we explain the methods afterwards. So these are the expectations that we've got for people. Make it very clear, what do you expect? If you don't put this on paper, you can't expect them to just know this. For example, how quickly would you like them to respond to emails? How quickly should they respond to live chats? What are those expectations that you've got in your mind? If you don't communicate them, they won't get done, but you'll still feel as though you're being cheated because you'll have those expectations. Get them on paper, make it clear what it is you'd like to be done, and then they can challenge you on it if they think it's unrealistic. But you've got to have these conversations, but make sure you get it out there, what it is you'd like to do. No missed calls. How quick do you want to be orders processed? How quickly, or do you want them to use an initiative? Is that part of what we're hiring for? So this is like my customer service and order fulfillment. This is the template I've got here, but these are the things that I would set out for a new virtual assistant. Then we talked about expectations. Now these are the methods. So not only will I tell them what I expect, I'll tell them how to do it. I don't expect them to know this all and know exactly how I like things done. I'll lay it out for them. So when I do this for people, I create SOPs for all of the tasks that they're going to be doing. So they've got a clear bullet point list to follow. Simple and effective. So for customer service, fulfilling orders or dealing with issues or complaints, and then they've got all SOPs in one folder so they know exactly what to do because they've got all the SOPs ready, and it makes the business run like clockwork. Then not just giving them the methods, we'll make sure they have access to all the tools from day one. So get access to Shopify, the most important things, Google Drive, and then if you use Trello or a task management service like ClickUp, get it all across to them. And then finish off with a checklist, get them to read the docs, sign the contract, join the various tools, make sure they have access to everything they need, and start reviewing the Google Drive and the SOPs that they've got access to. And not only will they know exactly what you're expecting them to do, they'll know how to do it and have the tools to do it as well. And within the first hour, maybe 2 hours of them getting involved, they can have all the access they need, understand what it is you require of them, and get to work very quickly. And it is genius when it works like this, because you have somebody on board that you've hired, yes, and they're fantastic, but now you can make the most of their talents because they know how to work on the job that you've got for them. So follow this SOP. If you want me to send you this, simply send me a message on Instagram, and I'm more than happy to send it all across, as well as all the resources that I've got to help you out with hiring and systemizing your e-commerce business. Also, if you think that I could do a job for you and help you out in doing this completely for you, I do offer a service where I hire virtual assistants and I put systems into people's businesses so it can start running without much of their input needed at all. So if you want to do that, feel free to book a call with the link under this video and we can go ahead and talk about that as well. So with that said, hope you got value from the video today. If you have, let me know and I'll catch you in the next video.